No. What we do have is we have a very developed tourism team, area devoted specifically to the tourism that we get at the winery every year. We get about 16,000 tourists every year at the winery, but it's mostly to the restaurants and the tours. We don't have a hotel per se, but the whole experience that you get when you visit the winery is one of the best you can get in the world. That's why when Maynard mentioned earlier that we recently were ranked again for second year in a row within the top 50 vineyards in the world to visit. We're
Wow.
very proud of it.
Congratulations.
As of right now, of course, everything is kind of shut down because of the coronavirus contingency. But we're planning to reopen without taking all the safety measures necessary as soon as we can, because it's really something. I mean, the architecture, the details of every single tour you take, the tasting rooms, everything is very well thought of. Actually, the owners of the winery spend a good deal of time trying to tune in and every single detail so as to make the most out of the experience. So we're very proud of our tourism department.
So actually, if you want to elaborate on that, so you guys won 2 years in a row, one of the top 50 vineyards in the world, right?
Mhm.
And so what helped you with that? Obviously, you have a beautiful vineyard. I mean, that's obvious, and you make great wine, so I'm sure that helps. But you have a full tourism experience.
Yeah.
So you have weddings, you can host events, you have restaurants, and
Yeah.
please elaborate a bit more. What else contributed?
One of the most successful things that we have implemented is at the restaurant level. The whole philosophy is that we don't just pair random dishes with wines, but we cook for our wines. Maynard actually participates in the elaboration of every single menu whenever we work on the winter menu, the summer menu. The winemakers are heavily involved in what would you make in order to make every wine shine the most. And it's also we do a lot of things in which we have our own like small garden when you can go pick up carrots and stuff that you're gonna later use for the cooking experience. That's a very popular tour too. We got bicycle tours. We got even in the summer we got a picnic baskets, which is just give you the picnic basket and you can go around the vineyard. You can, I don't know, go to the lagoon or wherever you want sit to sit and have a nice picnic. We try to do fun stuff with what we have over there. Always trying to focus on the culinary experience, not just the winemaking experience.
So you're Casas del Bosque. One of the tourism experiences is to focus not only just on the fact that it's a vineyard, but you want to marry the food and wine experience. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes.
What are some of the benefits and some of the challenges to making wine in the Casablanca region?
Well, the biggest challenge for us is spring frost, when the grapevines just starting to bud, and you can still have frosty nights, and it freezes the young shoots off, and with it, it freezes off potential crop as well. So that's probably our biggest challenge. And every spring, especially the month of October, we sleep a bit less deeply because every night a frost can hit. That's one of the main challenges. I think the other one is just being pioneers. And nobody has all the answers because it's also new. We're still exploring sites. We don't know which particular soil or exposition goes best with a certain grape variety. So you learn in the process, which is fun, but it's still a challenge. And the advantages is that it's relatively easy to grow grapes in Casablanca once the risk of spring frost is over. You can make a few mistakes with, say, a spraying program because we don't have a lot of pressure from diseases. So all in all, it makes for an easier season.
Are the seasons in Chile like Australia, where the summer is in like November, December, January, and
that's another big challenge. When our grapevines are flowering, it's normally, it's more about fruit set. it's Christmas. It's normally a busy time in the vineyard. Christmas and New
Oh,
Year.
wow.
It's normally a busy time, and everybody wants to be off on holiday. So
I
yes.
never thought about that. That's a good point. I'm very happy to see that Casas del Bosque practices sustainability. It seems like more vineyards around the world are switching to more sustainable practices. Obviously, there's the benefit of taking care of the planet, but from a winemaker's perspective, are there other benefits to having a sustainable vineyard as opposed to non? I mean, and again, putting aside the benefits to the planet and everything, are there specific benefits to winemaking in a sustainable manner?
Well, first of all, sustainability is more of a concept. It's not a parameter. It's not like this is sustainable or this isn't. You can be more sustainable or less sustainable, but really saying this is sustainable is obviously a bit hard to say. I think the most important thing is that you have to be a bit more aware of what you're doing, which is always a good thing. You cannot just spray whatever you want whenever you want, and that's a very good thing, I think, in general. Some people even go as far as just becoming organic or biodynamic, which is fantastic. It takes away all your tools, though, in case something goes wrong, you cannot react anymore, which is a bit difficult, I guess. The other thing, and that's especially a part of the Chilean sustainability thing, is the social issues. We have to be socially sustainable as well, and obviously, being a South American country, integrating more with the community, having people being more part of the process, getting better salaries as well, is a very important part of our sustainability program as well. So it's not just environmental; it's also social, and you have to be sustainable economically as well, which is no.
I saw an interview with a winemaker in France. I forget who it was. I forget the wine, but they are currently switching to being fully biodynamic. And he said that half of the vineyard's biodynamic and half isn't. And he said that he could see it different in the biodynamic side. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, the biodynamic thing seems to be it's kind of like the debate on Republican versus Democrat. It's like both sides argue, and it doesn't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and I know you're not a biodynamic winery, if I'm not mistaken, but
that's more of a philosophical question, and if you really see the differences. So far, there's not been any serious studies saying that biodynamic grapes are really better than conventionally grown, organically grown. So it's very much a question of faith. And it's never good probably to discuss faith.
yeah.
I think that the biodynamics takes into account a few other things which are not very measurable, like cosmic influences or the right time to prune or to pick.
Right.
For those not into biodynamics, they call it voodoo. I think my personal main problem with biodynamics is that it uses, again, very much European concepts. It was developed in Europe onto a South American vineyard. So you have to spray extract of European plants and not of locally grown plants. And I think that's something that needs to be looked at. If I were to be biodynamic, I would love to develop a sort of Andes biodynamism instead of just copying again European models.
Do you have any insight or feedback you'd like to share on maybe what you've learned in dealing with the American public in terms of their tastes and what you feel draws people to certain things and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I think when what I realized about the American public is that, well, it's a huge country. It's super versatile. There's so many different people, different taste profiles. So it's kind of difficult to classify people into, Americans drink only this or drink only that. Sure, I mean, Napa Valley and Cabernet is super popular among many different states. Italy is also a very prominent market, especially in the East Coast. Italian wines, French wines, also of course. But what I've realized is that Americans, especially people closer to my age, I would be part of the what you would call the millennial generation, are really looking forward to trying new things. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about the market. I mean, people, sure, maybe they grew up drinking beer or hard spirits, or maybe your traditional Cabernet from California. But I think people are more and more looking forward to try and experience new things, and that's something that I think benefits as well. Being a cool climate specialist, Chile, South America, highlighting a specific wine region such as Casablanca, that really opens up many doors for, I hadn't tried this before. Let's give it a shot. And I think the American consumer in general, well, that's my personal appreciation. Of course, it's hard to move him from what he traditionally drinks, but I think he's pretty open-minded in terms of, okay, I'll try something new.
So, Meinard, I have a question for you specifically, being a winemaker. I know how to pair food and wine as a chef, but I don't know wine like you do. When it comes to a food and wine pairing, what basic principles do you keep in mind?
Yes, well, I enjoy cooking, so basic principles: lighter foods with lighter wines, of course, heavier foods, heavier wine. To me personally, a lot of things like, say, herbs, cilantro, basil, chives, can really build a bridge between a wine and a certain food. A dash of lemon, like the gremolata on an ossobuco, a bit of lemon zest and garlic. It can lighten up a dish and then make it go better with a wine. I remember somebody in Italy pairing blue cheese with red wine, which is something you definitely don't normally want to do. But then with a little compote of plums in between, that kind of built the bridge between the saltiness and the intensity of the cheese and the richness of the red wine. So that's something I personally like to focus on. What can build these bridges? Which elements really help to make the pairing perfect?
But anyways, but again, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Kurt.
Thank you. All
Have a
the
nice
best.
day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.